Want to get the lowdown on Reliance Industries. How are they doing these days? Well, we're going to take a deep dive into their Q3 FY25 reports and this presentation they give to analysts. We'll break down their performance, what's working for them, and what it all means.
It's a bit like getting a behind-the-scenes look at one of India's most influential companies. We're not just looking at numbers here, but we're looking at the strategies and the decisions that are driving their success in this rapidly changing world.
Right, so to start off, Reliance had a record-breaking quarter. Their revenue hit a huge 267,186 crore. That's a 7.7% jump from last year. And their EBITDA earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It also increased by a solid 7.8%, reaching 48,003 crore. And their profit after tax, a whopping 11.7% growth, landing at 21,930 crore.
Yeah, those numbers really highlight Reliance's ability to adapt and thrive even when the global economy is, a bit shaky. Their diverse businesses give them a safety net, so to speak, allowing them to find growth in different sectors.
It's really interesting how Reliance is playing this game right. But let's get into specifics now. Their consumer-facing businesses, retail, and their digital services platform, Jio, those are the real stars here, they contributed a massive 52% of the total EBITDA.
The shift toward consumer-driven growth raises some interesting questions. How long can this consumer spending spree actually last? Is this really a sustainable engine for Reliance's future?
Well, let's unpack each of those segments and see what's fueling their success. Let's start with Jio. They had a 19.2% revenue increase year over year, reaching 38,750 crore. You can't ignore growth like that. The reports say that this is due to a recent price hike, growth in their Jio Fiber home broadband service, and more businesses adopting their enterprise solutions.
Yeah, Jio's aggressive rollout of 5G is also a major factor here. They've already got over 170 million 5G subscribers, and 5G makes up 40% of their total wireless traffic.
It's really impressive how quickly they've achieved that 5G adoption. They're also aiming to connect an incredible 100 million homes with their Jio Air Fiber wireless broadband, targeting those smaller towns in particular. It seems like they really are determined to bring high-speed internet to every corner of India.
And it's not just about connectivity either. They're also investing heavily in AI and cloud technologies. They've developed this platform called JioBrain, and they're even offering free cloud storage Jio AI Cloud to every Indian. Imagine the impact this could have on, how people in India use technology. It's potentially revolutionary.
Now let's talk about Reliance Retail for a minute. Their revenue grew by 8.8% year over year, hitting 90,333 crore. Wow, imagine the shopping sprees happening there. And their performance is strong across all categories: groceries, fashion, electronics. It seems like everything is just flying off the shelves. And get this, they added 779 new stores this quarter, bringing their total to over 19,000 stores.
Yeah, that's a massive expansion. Shows their confidence in the Indian retail market.
Yeah.
But they're not just adding stores. They're making these strategic moves like their franchise agreement for Saks Fifth Avenue. And they acquired the Mothercare brand for India. They're creating a whole retail ecosystem, catering to everyone.
It's like they're building a retail empire piece by piece. But Reliance is a lot more than just shops and smartphones. Let's talk about their core business, the O2C segment. That's oil to chemicals. What's happening in that often overlooked but really important sector?
Well, their O2C segment delivered a steady performance with a 6% year-over-year revenue increase, reaching 149,595 crore. However, global factors did affect their profitability. Fuel refining margins are shrinking worldwide, and there's increased competition in the polyester market.
So even giants like Reliance face challenges. But how are they dealing with these global headwinds?
Well, Reliance is known for its resilience. They've used their operational flexibility. They found ways to optimize their feedstock sourcing, and they're benefiting from the strong demand here in India.
Right, that makes sense, adapting to the circumstances. But what about their long-term plans in the O2C space? Are they just weathering the storm, or is there a bigger strategy here?
Reliance isn't just reacting. They're actually investing in new downstream chemical projects. This is a way to tap into India's growing demand for chemicals and strengthen their profitability over the long term. They seem to have a knack for identifying where the growth will be and positioning themselves to lead the charge.
So they're not just keeping up, they're planning to stay ahead of the game. Speaking of navigating challenges, their oil and gas segment actually saw a 5.2% decline in revenue year over year, down to 6,370 crore. What caused this dip? Should we be worried?
The main reason is a decrease in production from their KG-D6 gas field. But before we jump to conclusions, we have to remember that global energy markets are incredibly complex. There are a lot of factors that can influence production. This doesn't necessarily mean that their operations are weak.
So we shouldn't be hitting the panic button just yet.
Exactly. The reports show that higher gas prices actually help to offset that lower production volume. Plus, Reliance is investing in developing their KG-D6 field, and they're expanding their coal bed methane production. That actually saw a significant 35% increase year over year.
So it seems like they're strategically managing their energy portfolio, adjusting to these market dynamics, focusing on areas where there's growth potential. They're not just sitting back and letting the market call the shots.
Definitely proactive. And one thing that really stands out is their financial strength. Reliance has this really robust balance sheet and strong cash flow. They're clearly not afraid to invest in their growth, like we see with their capital expenditure of a 32,259 crore this quarter.
That's a huge investment. So Reliance is firing on all cylinders, wouldn't you say? But let's go back to the consumer side for a minute. Those numbers from Jio and retail are really something. Can you give us some specific details behind Jio's incredible growth? What's making them so successful?
Well beyond the price increases and the 5G rollout, their broadband strategy is really interesting. They're using their nationwide network and their capacity to drive a broadband revolution, especially in those areas beyond the major cities.
The reports mention something called Jio Air Fiber. What exactly is that, and why is it such a big deal?
So Jio Air Fiber is their wireless broadband solution. And it's really a game changer. They added a remarkable 2 million home connections just this quarter, bringing their total to 17 million connected homes. And here's the really interesting part. 70% of those new air fiber connections are coming from outside the top 1,000 towns. So they're not just serving the existing market, they're actually creating a whole new market. And in the process, they're bridging the digital divide.
That's a brilliant strategy. It's like they're tapping into a whole new pool of customers. But they're also focused on keeping their existing customers engaged and spending right. What's their secret to doing that?
Jio is really laser-focused on increasing customer engagement and digital adoption. Their ARPU, that's average revenue per user, so the average amount they make from each customer, it's been steadily increasing over the past 5 years, and it's currently at 203.3 per month.
So they're not just getting people connected, they're making sure that those connections turn into revenue. What's their strategy for doing that? So it seems like Jio has found the secret sauce to not only get new customers, but to keep them engaged and spending. They're providing a whole digital experience, not just connectivity. But how's their enterprise business doing? How are they doing in that arena?
Well, they're making significant progress there as well. They're targeting businesses of all sizes, from your small and medium enterprises to these large corporations and even government institutions.
So they're casting a wide net. What are some of their key wins in the enterprise space? What gives them an edge over the competition?
Well, one notable example is their success with cooperative banks. They recently secured partnerships that expand their reach to a remarkable 150,000 bank branches across India. This is a huge win for them. It gives them access to this vast network of potential customers for their enterprise solutions.
It sounds like they're strategically positioning themselves to capture a big chunk of that enterprise market. But let's shift gears for a second. Let's talk about something that might directly impact you. Reliance Retail's incredible expansion, 779 new stores in just one quarter, is mind-boggling.
Yeah, their expansion is really impressive. But it's not just about the number of stores. It's about strategically diversifying their offerings and catering to, a whole range of customer needs and preferences. They're not just chasing market share. They're creating this retail empire that covers everything, from everyday essentials to high-end luxury.
Their acquisition of the Mother Care brand and that franchise agreement for Saks Fifth Avenue, those are great examples of this diversification strategy. What's the thinking behind these moves? Are they trying to become the Amazon of India?
Well, the Mother Care acquisition gives them a strong presence in the baby and children segment, which is a market with massive potential as India's population continues to grow. And the Saks Fifth Avenue partnership lets them tap into those aspirations of India's growing middle class, giving them access to, these premium global fashion and lifestyle brands. So they're building a multifaceted retail ecosystem that caters to every part of the market, not just a single online platform.
It's amazing how they're bringing together these seemingly different brands and businesses into this cohesive retail strategy. But we can't forget about their core grocery business. They're excelling in both physical and digital grocery, which is really impressive in today's competitive market.
Yeah, their approach to grocery is truly omni-channel. It seamlessly blends their physical stores, their online platforms, and their logistics expertise. To create this convenient and value-driven experience for their customers, their hyperlocal delivery model in particular has been a game changer. It allows them to offer fast and efficient deliveries at really good prices.
And their milk basket platform shows their focus on capturing those niche markets within grocery.
Exactly. Milk Basket focuses on the delivery of those everyday essentials. Things like milk, bread, eggs. It's a smart move to meet that specific need and build customer loyalty through convenience and reliability.
So they're covering all their bases: physical stores, online platforms, hyperlocal deliveries, and specialized services. It's no wonder their retail business is growing so much. But Reliance Retail's ambitions go beyond groceries and fashion. They're also making a splash in consumer electronics.
That's right. They've established a strong presence in that consumer electronics market. They're offering a full range of products and services, from the newest smartphones and laptops to those high-tech televisions and home appliances. They're not just selling products, they're building a whole ecosystem around them.
Their rescue service network is a perfect example of this. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, Rescue is India's largest electronic service organization. They provide on-demand repair and maintenance services to customers in 225 cities. It's a really smart way to enhance that customer experience and build brand loyalty. People aren't just buying a product, they're buying peace of mind, knowing that they have support if something goes wrong.
It's like they've thought of everything, and I'm really intrigued by their focus on developing those private label brands. What's the strategy there? Is it cost control, brand building, or something else?
It's actually a multifaceted strategy. It allows them to control the quality, the pricing, and the distribution of their products, while also building that strong brand recognition and customer loyalty. They're not just relying on established brands, they're creating their own success stories.
Their Kempa and Independence brands are great examples of that approach. It's clear that Reliance Retail is a force to be reckoned with. They're expanding aggressively, they're innovating, and they're meeting the changing needs of the Indian consumer. But let's not forget about their core energy businesses. We should talk more about those. What are some of the key takeaways from their O2C oil to chemicals performance this quarter?
Now, the global gas and LNG markets are pretty unpredictable right now. There are price swings and supply chain issues, but Reliance has shown they can handle these challenges, using their flexibility and their understanding of the Indian market to keep things running smoothly.
The reports mention that spot LNG prices have been going up because of things like terminal outages and geopolitical stuff. How is that affecting Reliance? Are they feeling the pressure?
Well, those high spot LNG prices do put pressure on their costs, since they rely on some LNG imports to meet their gas needs, however they're dealing with this. By using their global sourcing network, their long-term contracts, and their operational flexibility.
So they're not just sitting back and taking these market changes. They're actively working to manage their costs and make sure they have enough gas.
Exactly. And it's not just about getting the gas, it's about optimizing the whole value chain. They're investing in downstream chemical projects to turn those basic chemicals into higher value things, like plastics, polymers, and specialty chemicals.
That sounds like a strategic way to capitalize on India's increasing demand for chemicals. But are there any risks with this downstream expansion? What if global demand weakens?
Well, there are always risks in any business, especially in such a volatile market. However, Reliance is known for its careful planning and risk management. They're diversifying their products, exploring new markets, and always watching global trends so they can adapt.
That's good to hear. It seems like they're taking a proactive approach to those risks and ensuring the long-term sustainability of their O2C business. But what about their oil and gas segment? They had some setbacks this quarter with that KG-D6 production decline. How are they tackling that?
They're focusing on getting the most out of their existing fields, while also looking for new growth areas, like their coal bed methane operations. They're also good at navigating the complex world of energy, adjusting to price changes, and securing good deals to make sure they have a steady supply of oil and gas.
So they're playing the long game, balancing the short-term issues with investments in the future.
Exactly. They're not just reacting to the market, they're anticipating it and positioning themselves to take advantage of new opportunities.
It's clear that Reliance Industries is always moving, always changing and adapting to stay ahead in this dynamic business world.
Their agility and ability to adapt are really remarkable. They're not afraid to shake things up, as we've seen with their moves in telecom and retail. And they're always searching for ways to innovate and create value for their customers and stakeholders.
It's clear that Reliance Industries is more than just a company. It's a driving force in India's economic transformation. But what does all this growth mean for the everyday Indian citizen? How is Reliance's success affecting their lives?
Well, Reliance's impact on ordinary people's lives is complex and far-reaching. Their investments in infrastructure technology and creating jobs are all contributing to India's economic growth. This creates opportunities for millions and improves living standards across the country.
So they're not just making profits, they're making a real difference. But their size and influence also raise questions about the concentration of power. Is Reliance's dominance really good for India in the long run?
That's a tough question, with no easy answers. On one hand, Reliance's success has definitely been good for India's economy, driving innovation, creating jobs, and making the country more competitive globally.
But on the other hand, there are concerns about monopolies, stifling competition, and limiting choices for consumers.
It's a delicate balance that needs careful thought and oversight to make sure that growth benefits everyone in society, not just a few.
That's a conversation we need to have. And it's a conversation we'll continue in the last part of our deep dive into Reliance Industries. We'll look at their financials, analyze their growth strategy, and consider the broader implications of their actions for the Indian economy and beyond. And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Reliance Industries. We've covered a lot of ground. Yeah. From Jio's dominance in the digital space and Reliance Retail's expansion, to the ins and outs of their energy businesses. So now let's try to tie it all together. What does this all mean for Reliance and their place in the world?
Well, it's pretty clear that Reliance is playing the long game, anticipating trends and making those strategic investments to really become a global leader. They're not afraid to disrupt industries, as we've seen with their moves in telecom and retail.
They're also masters of what's called vertical integration, creating those connections across their different businesses to become even more efficient and profitable. It's really impressive how it all fits together.
Yeah, it's a testament to their planning and execution for sure. But their success isn't just about being savvy business people. They've really tapped into those aspirations of India's growing middle class, offering products and services that people genuinely want and need.
Their focus on affordability and accessibility is key. They're making technology available to millions of Indians who might otherwise be left behind in this digital world.
And they're doing all of this while also becoming more sustainable. Reliance is incorporating environmental considerations into everything they do, from reducing emissions to promoting responsible waste management.
That's a smart move these days. Considering how much consumers care about sustainability, people want to support companies that are doing the right thing.
Reliance understands that,
Hmm.
and they're taking steps to align their business with those values. But their impact goes beyond their own operations. They're playing a major role in shaping India's whole economy.
Yeah, that's true. Their investments in things like infrastructure technology and creating jobs are all part of India's economic success story.
Yeah, they're empowering small businesses, driving innovation, creating opportunities for people across the country. Reliance is more than just a company. They're a force for economic change.
So what's next for Reliance? What can we expect to see in the years to come?
Knowing Reliance, I'd say expect the unexpected. They're always innovating and pushing the boundaries. Their ventures into AI, green energy, and even the metaverse give us a glimpse of what they might do next.
They're also going global, making acquisitions and partnerships to expand their reach beyond India. It's clear they have big ambitions and the resources to achieve them.
But their success also raises some important questions about the concentration of economic power. As Reliance continues to grow, it's crucial to make sure that this growth is inclusive and benefits everyone, not just a select few.
That's a really important point. Reliance's actions have a ripple effect, and we need to talk openly about their role in India's future. We need to think about the balance between economic growth, social well-being, and environmental responsibility.
Reliance's journey really mirrors India's own journey as it becomes a global economic power. It's a story of ambition, innovation, and transformation, with challenges and opportunities ahead.
It's definitely a story worth following. We hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of Reliance Industries, their strategies, and what it all means for the bigger picture.
And hopefully it's sparked your curiosity to learn more about India's complex economy and the role companies like Reliance play in shaping its future.
That's what the deep dive is all about, giving you the knowledge and insights to understand the world around you. One fascinating topic at a time. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.